I would like to share a special meal ideal that I tried during my very light meat vegan week. Stay tuned. I have a lot to say. In preparation for the liver and gallbladder flush, I did a light meat vegan week. Where I consumed very little meat. It came in a salad. So part of the salad had the pinky's worth of meat, and I actually, unfortunately, had to waste a lot of the chicken that comes in that salad at the end of the week. It wound up just going bad, and so I was rotating in between salads and this soup that I made. I was getting a little weary, so I wanted to stay in the game, and I came across this flaxseed tortilla shell. So in the video, it was very simple and easy, and I was amazed and grateful that how many options there are available for people that are trying to live an alternative lifestyle as far as what they eat. So I was avoiding mucus-forming foods like rice, pastas, bread, grains, and things like that. Things that are said to promote mucus. And I was focusing on fruits, vegetables, and a fluid diet. And anyway, this tortilla shell, it would seem very easy to make, but it was a fail. So the picture, the video, it's going to be ugly, but it actually tastes good, and it's something that I would do again during another occasion where I'm not eating bread, and I still want a meal that fulfills my appetite. Stay tuned. These are the ingredients that I'm going to be using to make my flaxseed tortilla. I have whole organic flaxseed. This is half of a cup. I have a modest teaspoon, half of a teaspoon of salt, and a modest half of a teaspoon of sugar. And I'm adding that for sweetness, as well as I'm going to start off with 1/4 ounce of water. Into the NutriBullet, I'm going to put the flaxseed, the salt. I'm going to see how it tastes. I'm going to do half of 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and I'm going to do 1/2 of half of a teaspoon of sugar. I've never made this recipe, so I am interested to see how it's going to turn out. But I'm going to blend these in the NutriBullet. Or so until it became like a flour consistency, and it's all light and fluffy. And this I'm going to put in a pot of water that I've prepared and I've heated. So I thought it'd be easier for me to do the rest of it here on the counter. So the water I did not boil completely. Here, by the way, is what the flax seeds looks like. It looks like a flour. I blended it for about 30 minutes. And so this is my 1/4 cup of water. And I also oiled this spatula so that this dough does not stick to it. So I'm going to pour this into the water. I did not boil the water. I don't know if I mentioned that before. And so I'm just going to casually mix the dough, and I'll show the way that looks. Here I am mixing the dough. Unfortunately, not going to be able to show all how I mix it, but it's going to make a dough. I'll show the end result. But I'm going to mix all of this around until I get a dough. So this is the end result, and what can I say? Putting the olive oil on the spatula made a difference, because the video I saw, it was very sticky. And this is just, I kind of kneaded it in here. And anyway, I'm going on to the next step. So the next step is to use 2 pieces of wax paper so that the dough doesn't stick. And I'm going to dump the dough out. It's like I need some help. So I'm going to dump the dough out like this. And all I did in the pot was just mix it around until in a continuous ball until it stuck. And then I'm going to flatten it out with the parchment paper or the wax paper. So, see here, stick it on top of here. And so you can see that I'm just going to roll it like this. Until it's paper thin. Hopefully, still able to see what I'm doing. I'm not really worried about the shape of the tortilla shell, but I'm going to make the flaxseed tortilla shell. I'm not going to waste any of the flax seeds, and right now this is looking pretty bad. Give me just a moment. The parchment paper that I used was not large enough, so I'm running into difficulties flattening this out. I'm going to unfortunately probably have to waste a little bit of it, but I'm going to make moderations to this so that I can get the perfect shaped tortilla. An error, I wound up having to scrape most of the flaxseed off of the paper. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to throw this away. The next sheet I'm going to oil because it's sticking. This is expensive waste right here. So this is my first time making this. So the first alteration that I'm going to make is I'm going to put a little olive oil on the paper as well as my hands, because I'm going to have to get my hands involved because the flaxseed is stuck to that other paper. But I'm going to wipe the olive oil all the way around. Ooh, and then I'm going to take the paper. This does not look appetizing right now, but I'm going to attempt to reform the flaxseed. And I'm just going to have to scrape this off. So here it is. I was able to scrape most of the flaxseed off of the wax paper. And maybe this is a cheap. It only cost me $1 and some change. But I've also oiled up the other side of it. And I got a bigger piece of paper. And now I'm going to attempt to roll this out again. Try to roll it in a circle form because I want a tortilla shell. So I'm going to have to do this off camera because there isn't enough space on the counter. And I'm going to roll this out almost flat. So this is the tortilla shell all flattened out. And this is the very large pot that I'm going to use to get the shape that I'm looking for. The rest of the tortillas I'm just going to put on the stove, and I'm not going to waste any of it. I'm going to eat it all, even the scraps. So I'm just tracing around this pot with the knife to cut out the shape of the tortilla shell. I'm going to go all the way around it. This is because I want it to fit inside of the pan. The scraps I am going to cook as well. So here is the final product. Not the final product, but me tracing around. There are some gaps here that I will fill in or just ignore. It's my first time doing it, trial and error. But I'm going to pull this off of here, which it shouldn't stick. Give me just a moment. I'm going to need 2 hands. So greasing it worked a lot better. I'm just going to etch this out a little bit more just to be sure. I might even stick some of the excess over in that hole there. I'm hoping this turns out, can't see what I'm doing, to taste. It tastes good. I'm going to fill in this hole with a piece of the flaxseed. So what I'm doing is just going around with the knife. The oil really helped to make it not stick to this wax paper. But I'm just going around and I'm pulling off the excess flaxseed. And I will make another smaller patty with this. And so there it is, the perfect shape. And I'm going to peel this off and put it in my already pre-greased pan with olive oil. Give me just a moment. Absolutely ugly. It's a fail, but it tastes good. I'm not going to film the final product. I will just show how it tastes. I'll link the video below where I found out how to make these. It actually does taste like a tortilla shell because I've tasted pieces of it. So, final product. It is not pretty, so I will link the video in the description box below to show how it's supposed to come out. I will say that this is the texture of a tortilla shell, but I'm going to spare the embarrassment of trying to wrap this. But everything was right except I made it too thin. But the sugar and the salt are right on point. It tastes like a tortilla shell, so I'm going to enjoy this. And what I wound up doing was smashing avocado on the bottom, sprinkling some sauerkraut on it, as well as this lettuce, and I'm going to pretend that it's a wrap. Until next time, thanks for watching.